Hi everyone, my name is Daji and I am here to present about the introductions of info security risk. The term of information security risk refers to a situation in which the confidentiality of a company's information is compromised by allowing it to be exposed to unauthorized parties or third parties. The integrity of the information on the server is modified with authorizations, and the availability of the information on the server is not readily available on demand by authorized third party. Thus, law of information security risks and threats in general can include any deliberate, unintended, or caused by natural calamities that affect data loss and manipulations, especially physical destructions of hardware. Accordingly, there are info security risks on an enterprise management that are classified as physical risks and non-physical risks. Physical risk cause direct impairments to hardware or indirect adverse consequences to servers that are holding critical data such as network router, CCTV technologies, as well as factors affecting humans. Non-physical risks target the data and software such as state of operating system, security performance in system management, especially the system maintenance. In these investigations, we have looked for an organization enterprise that consists of a physical server for investigating and manipulating the possible info security risks that might cause impairments to the server. Info security risks or threats that we anticipated will help the organizations to keep away and elevate their hardware or software for avoiding server in trouble. And catastrophic, serious, moderate, minor, and negligible are the classification for the level of information security risk. Any risk, whether minor or catastrophic, must be addressed via mitigation plan, monitoring plans, and recovery plans. That's all for my presentations. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jin Yang. Now I want to talk about the evaluation the risks. So for the first, we know that to calculation the risk is use consequences times the probability of the occurrence. So we will get the 5 level of the risk, which is the negligible risk from 1 to 5, and minor risk is 6 to 10, and the moderate risk is 11 to 15, and the serious risk is 16 to 20, and the last one is catastrophic risk is 21 to 25. So for the negligible risk is it can be ignored but not commonly happen, so the risk is low. And the minor risk is level 2 risk. It is not effect for the company if it happens. So the next one is the moderate risk. It can be controlled by the organization if the risk is happen, and it will affect of the organization but still in under control. And other than that, the serious risk is that it will likely happen and will affect the organization's progress but not immediately. So we should prevent of this serious risks. And the last is catastrophic risk. This risk is commonly happen and it will damage and destroy the company data. So this is the risk must be avoided and prevented. So for the next one is the excessive risk table, and this table is evaluate the risks. On the left hand side we can see the consequences, and on the top we can see the likelihood to occur and how we need to calculate the risk. First, we need to know the risk will affect and damage of the server, and it is commonly happen or not commonly happen, and not damage to server. Let's say the risk is not always happen, and if it happen, it will no damage to the server. So the risk is 1 times 1, so we will get 1, and the risk level is 1, so it is belong to the negligible level. So the next example is if the risk will affect the server and it is commonly happen, so it's 5 times 5, so the risk is 25 and it is belong to catastrophic level. And the next one is the top 5 risks after we survey, and we know that the top 5 risks for the server is the server of the company can be accessed but easily, and the server of the company do not under surveillance, and the third one is the server of the company does not have uninterruptible power supply, and the fourth one is the risk of the employees is sabotage, and the last of the risks is the credential to access company application is leave open space. So thank you. And now I want to pass my mic to my teammate for the next part.
Hi, my name is Dao Sheng. Now I want to talk about the plan of risk. So for the first one risk is server of the company can be accessed easily. For mitigation plan, the company need to assure the server can only be accessed by some specific person to let the server not black by someone and be hard to track. So for monitoring plan, the company may move their server into a locked room and make it unreachable to everyone, but only some specific employee or authorized person can access the room and also the server. So for recovery plan, the company could let the authorized employee access the server only. So when there is an error or server down and someone take responsibility. For the second one risk is server of the company do not under surveillance. For mitigation plan, the company need to assure that the server is being protected by surveillance since the CCTV can record the situation of the server if something happens. For monitoring plan, the company may let the server move in the room with the coverage of CCTV and make sure there is not only one angle for the coverage for CCTV to enforce the protection for the server. For the recovery plan, the company may configure the CCTV to make sure the server is inside the coverage of CCTV. Besides that, the company also need to ensure all the important devices stay in the CCTV area. So for the top 3 risks is server of the company do not have uninterruptible power supply. For the mitigation plan, for the server that do not have uninterruptible power supply, this company should build a backup power supply station. Make sure that the server has an uninterrupted power supply for 24 hours. And for monitoring plan, the company should set up a battery monitoring sensor because it can monitor the voltage, temperature, and current route for battery and DC power system. And for the recovery plan, the company should back up their data time to time to make sure if the power supply suddenly cut off, the data can be protected and find the data back. So I will pass my mic to my teammate. He will explain the remaining risk and conclusion. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jin Ping, and here is the top 4 risks. So the top 4 risks is risk of employee sabotage. For this risk, the mitigation plan is using policies, constraints, so workers will know your expectation and may enable to manage a problematic employee and also to give a remedy in the case of employee sabotage. Besides that, for the monitoring plan, organization should start from the beginning with recruiting. A comprehensive recruiting process may assist to make sure the organization is employing personnel who are a suitable match for your firm. So the comprehensive reference check, a reliable interview process and employee vetting can highlight cause of concern early on. Moreover, accountability for action is the key to avoid employee sabotage. Each employee should be aware of their personal responsibility, breaking down corporate objectives and classifying how they connect on a team or employee level might assist to get everyone on the same page and working toward the same cause. So for the recovery plan, change passcode and cancel access when staff depart or more quickly if an emergency arises. Additionally, you want to safeguard your brand internet reputation. Utilize social media monitoring to keep an eye out for brand reference and to resolve any online complaints. Furthermore, an open and varied culture that value employee input may help you stay in touch with your workforce overall well-being. If conflict is developing, it may be time to solicit feedback or plan a team-building retreat. So next is the last risk in top 5, which is credential to access company's application if leave open space. So for the mitigation plan is the company should announce their staff must log out the system when they are leaving the space. All the staff should paste a sticky note behind the computer screen or their office table. This will let the staff remember to log out the computer or system every time they leave. The team leader also can paste the information on the information board. Because the staff have a habit to see the board for the new announcement, then they will see the logout system notice. So for the monitoring plan is the team leader should always remind the member to remember to log out the system, and the leader should be good example to the member. This is because the member will follow the leader actions. Companies should also train some staff to build an information assurance and security team to protect the company information assurance. The information assurance and security team can real-time monitor the company system and make sure other staff can log out the system when they leave the space. So last, for the recovery plan, we provide the company set up the logging timeout function for the company computer, system and the server. For example, company can set the timeout duration around 15 minutes or less than 15 minutes to make sure no one can access the system. Around 15 minutes, the staff live on space. So here is the top 5 risks that we summarized and the method how we get the top 5 risks. So with this advice, I trust the company can avoid themselves from tricky situation and also take action to do early prevention. Thank you.